Computer was just like, the computer just wanted me to do things, and it decided it didn't want to do things right now.
Typical technology, am I right?
Typical woman.
Ha
ha! It's sure.
Got the sexist joke out of the way. Now we just got to hit the racist joke and then the joke about politics, and we're set.
I might leave all this in.
Oh, beautiful. Even better.
Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to the PPL D2 Season 5 week, or not welcome back to the Week 1 Power Rankings, but this is Week 1 Power Rankings. I'm actually doing this like 2-3 days after doing Week 0 Power Rankings, so I'm still fairly fresh. As you can see on the screen, probably in some way, shape or form. Steve is not here today, he's had to deal with a personal issue. We wish him the best and hope him to come back soon. But instead we have a long-term stand-in for the PPL. Someone who does flitter about, comes and goes as the wind pleases. We have Chaos. So hello, Chaos.
Hello, everyone.
I can see you moving your box around on my sheet.
Yeah, I'm just like clicking around. I can't sit still, man. But yeah, thanks for having me. I tend to jump in whenever someone on the PPL has a mysterious happenance and they need a replacement because I like to get in where I can. So
yep,
here I am.
So extra shout out to Chaos as well because Chaos watched all of these battles in one night. Pretty much like in less than 12 hours he's watched all of the battles. So shout out to Chaos. That's quite a lot of videos to watch all in one go.
Yeah, some of them were worth it. Before
we start, I'm going to let you do your plugging stuff straight away. I'm going to let you plug your stuff. So where can people find Chaos? Where does Chaos content happen?
Oh wait, I'm the exam. I'm not prepared. I mostly just do YouTube at the moment because I had to stop Twitch because internet sucks. But YouTube, Chaos in the Sky 13. This is pretty much it. Twitter, Chaos in the Sky 13, etc.
Yeah, you deserve it. After filling in, you deserve a little plug.
I appreciate it.
Cool. So we'll start with number 12. I'll lead the way on this. However, we've gone fairly similar, which is already better than me and Steve went.
Yeah, you guys, your week 0 was like, I don't think you had a single matchup.
Yeah, all over the place. We did not have the same thing for anyone. But we both have RTK and the Portland Timbers at number 12.
Yeah, my good friend RTK.
The reason I have RTK at number 12 is because I had him at week 0, number 11, and there was no reason for me to move him up in week 1, but I had to move him down because not only did he lose, he lost quite badly. And even though it was due to hacks, I didn't see how his team works. I didn't see any sort of thought process. I didn't hear any thought process in his video, so I had no reason to actually move him up.
That is fair. I did not have a week 0. I didn't use Steve's for like when I was putting mine together or anything. I mainly just acted as if I never had a week 0 in the first place and only went off of the matches and a little bit I knew about the teams. But yeah, RTK, he did. I like to, I'll give him credit where credit is due. He got really screwed over early game, and it's not easy to. And he already knew he had a bad matchup. It was one of those weeks where his opponent had 2 different Pokemon that just wrecked him, and he didn't have a whole lot that could put up with it. So to also get hacked on, to already be in a battle that he was likely to lose, and to get hacked out like in the first 3 turns, it really sucks. And I also know RTK as a person, and when it comes to Pokemon, he really does just he'll sooner give up if he doesn't think he has a chance than try and save differential. Okay. I think that's part of what happened. So I do think he made a mistake in bringing in the Excadrill. He really didn't think Earthquake would come in. I thought Earthquake was a reasonable predict because there was nothing that could. There was no reason not to, because even if the Latios did come in on the Earthquake, I mean, the Latios isn't going to OHKO the Metagross.
Yeah, so, exactly. I mean, the Latios.
It's going to. Yeah. So I do think
that click Shadow Ball, and it takes a Meteor Mash, and it takes a Bullet Punch, and also dies.
Yeah, so I do think that RTK was wrong on that predict. Other than that, it was a lot of him just kind of getting screwed over early game and having a bad matchup. But, it happens to the best of us, and he can prove us wrong in future weeks that he can actually not be in 12th.
Yeah. I mean, the other turn that got me that didn't really make sense was when Blacephalon was low down and the sand was up, and he said he didn't want to bring in Excadrill because he'll just swap out anyway. And I thought, that's kind of what Pokemon is. If he swaps out because you're an Excadrill in the sand and you just hit whatever comes in. And because he decided to go Infernape and he left it up to a roll rather than a guaranteed kill. So I just thought that was a bit maybe that was just like him putting some commentary together. I've done it before. I've just said things to fill a video where I'm just want to fill up the video because I know I've lost and I know it's not going to be a good battle anyway. But just that little thought process there, just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe in I can imagine in RTK's mind, it was probably like, I have to do something ridiculous because I'm already on such a back foot that I'm either going to lose horribly or something crazy is going to happen and I'll get a bit of a comeback. And it just didn't work out. But I don't know. RTK, like I said, RTK is the kind of guy, he knows he's going to lose and all that. He doesn't put in the maximum effort. So I doubt he was even putting much thought process into it at the time.
Yeah. Also, bring Earthquake on your Infernape if you know you struggle against Blacephalon and Metagrosis.
Yeah, that's... he didn't have... RTK, my dude. Come on, man.
Let's move on to number 11. And again, surprisingly, we have both agreed. Chicago Bewares. Number 11s.
Yeah, Carson is bad. End of discussion. There we go.
Number 10. Number 11 is Carson. Everyone knows I wasn't a big fan of Carson's draft. He drafted a Lopunny and a Whiscash and made them both Z users.
What?
Yep.
Oh, I remember now. You see, this is what happens. I used to do PR with Shroom for TVU, right?
Yeah.
Shroom would take all the notes, and then he'd say things, and all of a sudden, all of my memories of the match would come flooding back, and I'd start commentating.
Yeah.
Why did he have Entrainment Lopunny, and why did he bother using it on Celesteela?
Yeah, I don't get the thought process behind that. I get that he wants
what
to,
is it?
Like,
Go ahead, sorry.
I get that he wanted to take away the Beast Boost, but the Celesteela wasn't going to sweep him and the extra defensive stat didn't make too much of a difference. Entrainment's good ability on Lopunny.
I don't know if he changed the battle, but it might have helped if he didn't have to waste, isn't that the turn that he got seeded or something? It would have, saved him a turn or something just go straight for the Z Splash and into Kangaskhan. I don't know if it would have made a huge difference, but I do know that entrainment made, no difference at all.
Yeah, agreed. It didn't. It would have done if he had something I don't know, if he, had Switcheroo Assault Vest with his Klutz already, so he could switch the Assault Vest onto the Celesteela, and then all it could do is go for Heavy Slam.
That would have been amazing. And then he could have made a Z-Mon not Whiscash and had something useful have a Z move, and he could have just had the Assault Vest Switcheroo on the Lopunny.
Yeah. But he did make some good plays as well, which is why I have moved him up above RTK. He played very well around the Komodo. The Komodo he recognised straight at the start of the battle was a huge threat to him. So he done some good switches around with Lando and Pharaoh to get that thing worn down and basically get it to kill itself pretty much. So that was very nice how he done that.
He did make good predictions early game. He was playing very well, I would say, up until the Lopunny. I really think that he played a good game, and it possibly could have gone either way, but he got into that age-old mistake of, I brought this gimmick, I'm gonna use this gimmick.
He didn't stick to his counters, I feel either. In the start of the video, he said, I brought Pharaoh Fawn, which won't get seeded by Celesteela, isn't taking much damage from Heavy Slam, and I have the Ockerberry as well in case it has some sort of fire move. And then he didn't leave Pharaoh Fawn in on Celesteela once, or click Leech Seed on Celesteela once.
Yeah.
So it was. I think he did get a bit blinded by his gimmick and just wanted to get the Lopunny in as soon as possible. And when he actually did do it, he didn't get Bill's team to the point where the gimmick could work because he still had Rocky Helmet Cradilly, which killed the Mega Kang anyway.
Yeah, which Carson also pointed out at the very beginning, this is the thing to stop Mega Kang, and then he proceeded to set up Mega Kang without getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Or even getting it weak, because it was at 90% or something when he went for the setup.
Yeah. But like I said, he did do well around the Komodo, so that's why Carson has gone up a place for me, at least, from 12 to 11, and that's more or less why RTK went down, because Carson done something and RTK didn't.
Yep, pretty much. I really just think he got to the Lopunny and thought, I need to do this, and then kind of threw all of his work and predictions that he'd been doing in the first place out of the window. If he had just stuck to that, could have had a much better chance.
Yeah.
I've apparently dropped him 4 places over this, according to Steve's Week 0, so that's what you get, Carson, for bringing Entrainment Lopunny.
Oh, gosh. Moving on to number 10, I've got SL Benfica.
I'm glad that you said it first. Can you say the other one first, too?
The other one is Deportivo Primarina.
I would have said it right.
Yeah, no, SL... Yeah, I was saying SL Benfica wrong a lot until Streamer pointed out that it's short for Bayonet.
Wait a minute. Okay, I knew it was short for Baynet, but I still didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, so
what did
Bane-
you think it was for?
I was saying Banfika. I was saying Banfika.
What is it? Is it a Famfi with a B?
No, it's just like Banfika is the actual team. It's the actual
my
football team,
goodness.
yeah. So, it's Benfica, so I was just like Benfica. So, yeah, it's Banefika.
You and your filthy sports ball.
Let
But,
me get to these notes. Hold on, I have to find these ones in my notebook.
who is it? My Deportivo Primarina is Juan, right?
Yes. But we'll talk
Yeah.
about Benfica first.
Alright, that's fine. Who is Benfica? That's one of the people I don't know. Oh, it's Hera. Okay,
That's Hera.
yeah.
I
know what. Yeah.
Hera versus Jim.
Yep, I know what I'm doing now.
You take the lead on this one because I feel you might have some insight that might answer some of my questions.
Oh no! Wait a minute. I think that you should take the lead because you've got okay. Because I thought that he did pretty okay considering what happens. I mean, he got really screwed over. My main problem is I don't understand why he went into Greninja instead of into Scarf Chomp. He should have calced the stuff. I watched his video because I watched Jim's because everyone had been going on about how good Jim's video is edited, and we'll sing praises about that when we get to where he is. Spoiler alert: it's not until way later in the video. but when I saw that on Jim's side, I was like, hold up, I have got to see the other side. First of all, because I want to see if he's the kind of person who gets really upset when he gets such a horrible roll on Water Shuriken.
Yeah.
Second of all, when I saw the Garchomp kill him, like, second of all, I gotta know why he did.
Yeah.
He said in his video it was because he thought that it was speed invested and that even with paralysis at +3 speed it would outspeed Chomp. I would have been calking like crazy myself, and he also just thought the Water Shuriken would get 3 hits.
Yeah,
but
of course, yeah.
I would have been calking like crazy because Greninja like won him the game probably.
Yeah, I mean, what did he have left? He had Slowbro and
the Persian.
Yeah, so Greninja pretty much could have won him that game.
Exactly, if he had just gone Chomp first. It could have, especially because Chomp would have, well, no, he would have had to have immediately pivoted from Chomp into Greninja before the Slowbro could do any setup, But
what, the one that it got me is not that he went from Greninja, not that he didn't go into Garchomp on the Greninja, is that as soon as Charizard was T-Waved, should have switched that into Garchomp.
Oh yeah, that's also true. He should have not. And he said in his video that he expected Jim to just kill him, but Jim has been in like 8 billion leagues. You can't expect him to make a rookie thing like not trying to set up in front of setup fodder.
The thing is, even if he did just kill him, then Jim had to set up there, because if he did just kill Zapdos, then Garchomp came in and killed him, so Jim had to set up another Dragon Dance to get the speed. That was just what had to happen, so I don't know. There was a few other things on that as well. Zapdos didn't have anything to hit the Decidueye. Is Chaos still here? I don't know if Chaos is still here. Let me call him back. Can you hear me now, Chaos? I'm going to tell him I can't hear him. Anyway, I'm going to talk for a while then. Zapdos didn't have anything to hit Decidueye. He said
Am I back now?
There you go, you're back.
Yeah, my internet died. Sorry about that.
That was weird. Zapdos didn't have anything to hit Decidueye. It didn't have Heat Wave. It had...
That's a bad call.
It had T-Bolt... it had T-Bolt, Roost... like...
T-Wave.
T-Wave and Defog, I think, or something like that. Either way, it didn't have anything to hit the...
Wait a minute, no. He better not have had Defog and then not used it when he has an Arcanine and a Zapdos.
Maybe he didn't have Defog then, I don't know. He had something. It definitely wasn't Heat Wave or Toxic to hit the Decidueye.
It should have been his fourth move, whatever it was. It should have been Toxic or Defog,
It might have been.
probably.
It might have been T-Bolt. I think he had Thunderbolt, Thunderwave, Roost, and Hidden Power Ground.
Oh yeah, Hidden Power Ground. Yep.
Yeah. So he brought a lot of stuff to hit the Zardex, but then it came at a detriment of not being able to hit the Decidueye. And
I don't think he should have had HP Ground plus T-Wave for the Zardex. He should have just had T-Wave, and then his strategy would be to switch out.
I mean, he brought a lot of ground coverage. Venusaur had Earthquake, Zapdos had Hidden Power Ground, Garchomp had EQ, as it should, but then that's half his team that has ground coverage to take on Zardex. So it's all it's all well and good identifying the threat to Zardex, but then you sort of leave yourself a bit short on dealing the rest of his team. I mean, I guess it sort of took on Nidoking as well, but...
I think the main thing, EQ on Venusaur, smart idea. I think the Zapdos should have had something for Decidueye instead.
Yeah.
Like, I would have even run dual status, maybe, of Toxic and T-Wave.
Or just even run, like, Air Cutter. Like, stab air cutter. I mean, it's not the most powerful move, but...
sick crits.
Yeah, exactly. Get a crit, and, like, hits more often than Heat Wave, and it stabs, so... It's not the worst idea.
Yeah, but overall, yeah, I'd say that however you say it, the word, they were a little slow on... They didn't have the greatest prep for Jim's team, who Jim, as we'll talk about later, prepped very well, I think. And, it was really, really unfortunate not to get those water shurikens, but you gotta, competitive league, you gotta be ready to, like, sit down and calc out, like, how much damage you're doing, so you can try and tell how much speed investment, if any, the Zardex has, and then figure out if your Scarfer can outspeed and kill it, and probably win you the game.
Yeah. There was a few good things Hera done as well. I wrote down here as well, we've done a good Sludge Bomb on the Decidueye switch-in from Venusaur. I can't remember what turn it was exactly, but when he hit Decidueye with Sludge Bomb, I think it was Venusaur sitting in front of Nidoking, and he clicked Sludge Bomb on Decidueye switching, which is pretty clever. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But there was some good reads as well. I think, again, it was just a bit more of Zardex set up, and then he panicked.
Pretty much. I mean, to be fair, that's the most common reaction when a Zardex begins to set up, is you panic. Because, as Jim said in his video, Zardex is probably, like, the best Mega in the format. That thing is a nightmare. I had it myself, and even someone as bad as me was able to get wins with it. So you know it's got to be good.
Yeah. Also, I would have maybe thought of something carrying Rocky Helmet.
Yeah, that also would have been really good.
If Zardex is a problem, and not let your Cryogonal die turn 1.
Yeah, that was also, like, I was not pleased with that, because I like Cryogonal, and I was like, oh, cool, this guy's got a Cryogonal, and then it was just dead turn 1.
Yep.
So that wasn't the greatest. You gotta, I mean, Tapu Koko has a higher attack stat than a Spidef stat. You gotta be prepared for physical Tapu Koko and expect that to exist.
Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on to my number 9 and your number 10, Deportivo Primarina and Juancito Marvel.
How does one stop Staka?
You hope that it doesn't land 4 Stone Edges in one game.
That was actually, I will give Juan that above all else. It's actually insane that thing hit 4 Stone Edges.
Yep.
Although,
he's gone again.
Doesn't take, oh, am I gone again? Am I back?
You're back, yeah.
Okay, Discord hates me, I'm sorry.
That's right.
But, I will blame Juan until the end of his days for have Jellicent take 80% and then we'll sack the Jirachi.
Yeah, that was a bad move on that one. That was a bad move on that one to go into Jellicent first in the hopes of dodging a Stone Edge. Like, he acknowledged that in his video of, like, I should have just gone into Jirachi and let that die. So, we take those. He takes those.
Yeah, you know, it happens to the best of us, but see that much damage to your, what was it that he hit first? One of his walls, I don't remember which one.
Amoonguss.
Amoonguss, yeah. When you see Amoonguss, your Jellicent isn't going to do much better.
Yes.
Like, Amoonguss is, like, bulky as all heck as is. Jellicent is, I don't think it's insanely more defensive or anything. So, at that point, you got to be ready to, you got to be ready to sack at that point.
What else did I write down for Juan? The Toxic Hex was really cool on the Jellicent. Let it get off damage.
That was nice. I liked that.
A lot of damage it got off there without having any of the special attack investment. So that was cool. Really done well to take that Yuxi down, because the Yuxi could have been a problem for Juan as well.
Yeah, Yuxi is always a problem with how bulky it is. And so even when you get Toxic on it, it can take a couple of turns and then get out. But having the Hex to really speed up that process, it did, like, uninvested, it did, like, at least 50%. I don't remember exactly, but I remember watching the Yuxi's health drop and thinking, what?
Yeah.
That's not how Yuxi works.
What else did I put? I put down that Juan didn't bring hazard removal when like his 3 main attackers didn't want to switch in on rocks all the time, being Noiva and Blaziken and Weavile.
Yeah, that was not a good call, especially because apparently everything gets defog in this gen, so he should have had some options.
Yeah, and like David had a Stack Attacker and Palo Sand and Glalie, so there's a lot of hazard stacking right there.
Yeah, let's see here. He didn't bring Togekiss, which could defog. He didn't bring Sand Slash.
Yeah.
I don't know what else out of here might have defog in this gen, but the point is that he probably, with the offensive team he had, probably would have been a good idea to, first of all, bring removal. Second of all, bring something that can stop Staka.
Yeah, I mean, he finally got the Stack Attacker down with the Amoonguss using Giga Drain, and admittedly, the Amoonguss with what hidden power it brought was a 50-50. Like, it could have brought hidden power ground for Stack Attacker, but then it wouldn't have had the hidden power rock for Talonflame switch-ins. Although Talonflame's not going to switch into Amoonguss anyway to take a hit, because then it's going to lose its Gale Wings. So I might have gone hidden power ground over rock, just because you're probably never going to get the chance to use hidden power rock against Talonflame.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Talonflame OHKOs from, like, any range of health for Amoonguss, so...
Well, it would normally, but David brought a Spadef Talonflame, but we'll get onto that later on. That was
oh, wow.
Interesting. That's how Juan's Blaziken didn't die in one hit.
Nice. Wait a minute. He brought Spadef Talonflame. Did he have any attack investment?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. I just remember him saying it was more Spadef.
Because, like, I don't understand how you could do that considering that its attack stat is worse than Amoonguss's.
I know it had Willow. I know it had Will-O-Wisp and things like that. It had Will-O-Wisp and Roost, I think.
Oh, wow, yeah. It would have been better to have had HP ground in that scenario.
But
you know, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, and Juan knows what he done wrong. He should have preserved the Amoonguss a bit better. Jirachi taking the damage from Glalie early on didn't help, and David just brought some good stuff to take on Juan, and I wouldn't say outplayed him, but just the he made some better moves, and the calls that he made mattered more.
Yeah, he had a Staka Taka. We can't really blame Juan. Like, how are you supposed to beat that?
However, Juan did use Jellicent fantastically. I was very happy with how he used Jellicent.
Yeah, I was really happy when he brought it in on the Stone Edge.
I mean, like,
mess.
The Toxic Hex root, like, recover thing of it.
Yeah, it was credit where credit is due. It was a good Jellicent. I really wish that he would have sacked Jirachi before basically crippling it, but
yeah.
It was good.
Who are we on to now? What number are we on? 8. Number 8.
Yeah, we both have Parasons for this one.
We both have the Parasens, which is Rufus, and Rufus played RTK.
His team tab is actual trash, and I refuse to talk about him.
It is annoying. If we could show you it, we would, but it's awful.
It's actually a nightmare. It's covered in GIFs. It's got that stupid dancing banana meme, and it's a nightmare to look at. You can't even read, like, any of the information because it's just full of random crap.
Yep. I've had to move GIFs out of the way more than once just to see what happened each week. Yeah, Rufus. He's number 8 now. I had him at 10 before, so I've moved him up a couple of places. Even though he won, I couldn't put him up too high for same reasons we said about RTK. He just kind of done stuff and it worked out for him. There wasn't really any major thought process that went in.
Yeah, he really just, like, didn't he only use Blacephalon and Metagross and then win? He just, like, he brought in
Crook for a turn and then switched it out.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. He switched it and it was like, nope, not this, and immediately switched back out.
So
and that was pretty much it.
He actually only used 3 moves that whole game. He used Shadow Ball, he used Shadow Ball, Meteor Mash, and EQ. 4 moves.
Yeah, he had a pretty easy time. He got lucky early on, which, you know, it happens. Also, I've apparently dropped him 3 places according to Steve, but, you know.
But again,
Blacephalon is scary.
Yeah, it is really scary, and he knew it was scary, and he knew it done work on the team, which is why he led with it. And he mentioned in his video before that Blacephalon done really well. So, admittedly, he came into the battle with the right thought process, but I just didn't see enough to move him up loads.
I think that where he's at is fair, considering that he got, like, I don't want to be rude to RTK, but he did basically get an easy win with early hacks and then RTK not caring and having the team match up and It was pretty much the perfect storm of Rufus just getting a win this week no matter what.
Yeah. What else did I write? Did I write down anything
But you know,
else?
I guess we can compliment him on knowing how to play Pokemon, because, you know, there have definitely been times where some people overthink and whatnot, and then just, like, play stupidly, but he made the EQ prediction, which was good.
I also wrote down that in prep, he had a Magic Coat on his Blacephalon because he knew he was going to lead Blacephalon, and he thought if RTK led Galvantula, he was going to click Magic Coat to 1 and reverse the sticky webs, which I thought was a cool idea.
It was a cool idea. I don't remember why RTK didn't lead Galvantula, but I am a fan of not leading Galvantula because it's the most obvious thing in the world.
I think he just let Infernape, because Infernape had U-turn, and it's like faster than most things on Rufus's team.
Honestly, that's good enough.
Yeah. However, I think Rufus.
My boy Rusev.
I think Rufus might have won that game anyway, because RTK just didn't have much to take on Scolipede either.
Yeah, RTK just had, like, the worst matchup of the year.
If Scolipede got to, like, +1 speed, then Scolipede was taking out the Infernape, it was taking out Drill, it would take out Latios and Florges.
Yeah, RTK really had a rough first week, and Rufus took advantage of it, which, you know, is what you gotta do.
Yeah.
It's not just enough to have a matchup, unless it's, like, the most god-tier matchup of all time. You also have to, like, know how to click buttons correctly, and Rufus did. So there you go, Rufus. That's your compliment of the week.
Moving on to position 7. This is our biggest discrepancy.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 3 people, like, all within 5 to 7, but they're all over the place.
Yeah, so Slyro versus Rogue. I had Sly at number 7. You had him at number 5.
This is the one I remember the least. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Because I actually watched this when Slyro uploaded it, or at least a day or two after he uploaded it, which was like 4 days ago. I didn't have enough time last night to rewatch it. So.
Yeah. This was a good game. This was a good game. This is one of my favourite games of the week. It was very competitive.
Probably like my third favorite.
It was competitive. Sly brought some good stuff. He brought fully invested special attack Life Orb Tapu Bulu, which was the only way to kill Mega Scizor in one hit, and it worked. He got quite lucky with Kingdra. Like, Kingdra was just like complete luck magnet. I think it landed 2 or 3 Hydro Pumps and all of them crit.
Yeah, but did he hit 4 Stone Edges?
He didn't hit 4 Stone Edges. That was definitely... I don't know what I'd count as more lucky. 4 Stone Edges or 2 Shadow Ball special defense drops.
Wait a minute, there's a lot of luck. We have 3 Hydro Pump crit hits, we have 4 Stone Edge hits, and then 2 Shadow Ball Spin F drops. This is a great way to start the PPL.
Yep.
Just wait. We're gonna get to week 3, and it's gonna shift. All of the luck is gonna go against Shroom again.
Oh, don't. We haven't spoke about the lucky in Shroom and Alex's game yet. We'll get to that. But yeah, I like this game. Sly.
I like this game. This is a good game.
I mean, what happened in this game was fun. It was a fun game to watch. He had the Pelipper, which didn't have rain on it, and I can't remember his reason for not having rain on it. And even looking at the team matchups, I still don't remember why it had rain on it.
Maybe so. Probably the 2 things I think of off the top of the dome piece here is to not help Tapu Fini in any way, and then to probably, if rain is up, I bet Mega Scizor lives in HP Fire from Bulu.
Potentially, yeah, but then you just don't do that yet. I mean, it hindered the Kingdra, and the Kingdra would have killed...
Well, the Kingdra doesn't need a rain boost if it just crits every time.
But it would have killed the Tapu Fini if he did have the rain.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. Also, probably he didn't want Moltres to hit all of its Hurricanes.
Yes, that's a good point, actually. That is a good point. Moltres definitely put in the work, but that's...
Yeah, he also, for some reason, has a rain team with a Victini on it, which, you know, Victini doesn't like rain because of V-Create.
We've spoke about his draft, and it was quite odd. Klefki done well, though. Klefki got up some spikes and got a Toxicon Mew really early on. Did take a chunk of damage from the Earth Power, but I assume the Klefki done what it needed to do. And the Mega Medicham done Mega Medicham things and kicked a load of things. And
it got burned by Moltres finally having its ability.
That's really funny. It got burned by Flame Body. I think that's the first time I've seen it actually happen in a properly competitive game.
It's probably because you don't see Moltres in many properly competitive games.
And I especially liked him bringing Drain Punch and High Jump Kick on Mega Medicham, expecting...
That was genius.
Yeah, expecting one of the Pokemon, mainly Miltank, to have Protect. That was really well brought. And that's why I have Sly further up out of the losing teams. I feel like Sly done really well, brought a lot of things that... brought a lot of prep well. Some things I maybe didn't agree with, but he done well. And I can't remember what turn it was, but there was one particular turn where he just made a mistake, and then that was the reason why he lost. I think it was just the fact that I think it's just the way he played around the Kieran Black.
I think it was after Kingdra went down, he started to have issues. I can't remember because, like I said, I watched that game a few days ago.
Yeah, that was the first one I watched as well, because Sly was the first person to upload.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I saw it and I was like, I don't really keep up with the PPL anymore, but I like Slyro, so I'll watch his video and drop a like. And then yesterday night, you were like, hey, I need someone to do PR with. And I'm like, oh, well, here we go again. Right when I think I'm out, they draw me back in. It was also, it was a really close game for Slyro as well. A couple of things could have gone differently. I think Moltres hit a few hurricanes, so, there's always that. And then Mega Medicham getting burned might have made a difference. I don't remember enough. I'm kind of just guesstimating right now. But it was a really close game, so when you look at a 1-0, usually a lot of the time it's a... if one or two turns had gone differently, it could have gone either way. So that's why I still have Slyro pretty high. I also, he has Victini and Mega Medicham, which I love. So that I just saw that. I haven't even seen the rest of his team, so I don't know. What did you have it in Week 0? Didn't you have it pretty low? Yeah, Steve had it at number 1, so I'm just going... I've actually moved Slyro down 4 spots, so... I see Victini, and I click like. That's just all I do.
Cool. So yeah, well done, Sly. You gave it your best shot, my friend. Number 6, I have the Adelaide Honchkrows.
Who are the Astros? I don't remember.
Adelaide Honchkrows is Bill Standish.
Oh yeah, he's Australian, right?
He is. He is the Australian.
It's like all I know about him is that he's Australian. That's all I knew about Trav, and that's all I need to know. So he did really well. He has Celesteela and Credilli, which means I hate him as a person. He also has Piloswine, but he also has Gengar and Como, so I guess I don't hate him as a person as much. It's a weird time for me.
Yeah, I don't like Piloswine. I'm gonna say that now. I just don't like Piloswine.
You know what? I agree wholeheartedly. I even go so far as to say that I'm not a huge fan of Mamoswine even, but I like it more than Piloswine.
I was a big fan of Mamoswine, but the more I've played, the less fan I've become of it.
I think Mamoswine, it falls into the same, and I say this as a Super Tarantini bro, it's fallen into that same thing as Victini, where people used to think it was the greatest Pokemon of all time, and then people have used it so much, people have figured out how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's not as much of a threat. But he has Celesteela, which got 4 kills this game, because I kind of lead that more towards Carson making some mistakes once he went for all of the low punny shenanigans.
Yeah, and he just didn't bring enough to take on the Celesteela, and Bill took advantage of that. Carson had 2 attacks to take on Celesteela. He had Volt Switch on defensive Rotom Wash, and he had Thunder Punch on Kangaskhan that needed to be set up first.
By the way, Rotom gets defogged now? That's insane.
Yes, it does. Rotom gets defogged now.
They weren't kidding when they said everything gets defogged now.
Yep. We'll get on to more defog stuff when we talk about Juan's game again.
Yeah.
Bill he didn't play the Komodo well, in the same sense we said Carson played well around the Komodo. Bill didn't play the Komodo well. He just didn't. I don't think he got a single prediction correct. He was going for drain punches on Lando, and he was going for ice punches on Pharaoh. I think he got one super effective punch off that whole game with Komodo before it died to Iron Barbs, Leech Seed, and Toxic damage.
That just brings back memories for me. I remember I played against Kyle for the TBU, and there were 50-50s the whole start of the match, and I just called the wrong one every single time. So I feel you, Bill. It sucks.
However, Bill did, and I find this hard to believe that I'm saying this, Bill found a way to use Cradilly very well. Cradilly done really well this game.
I think Cradilly is one of those Pokemon where it's normally trash, but if it has the right matchup, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it got the Rocky Helmet damage on the Kangaskhan. It was able to self-sustain itself with the Rocky Helmet. It stopped the Rotom Wash from clicking Hydro Pump on the Piloswine switch in that Carson was trying to predict. Got some Ancient Power damage off somewhere, and it held off the Lando for a while. Cradilly just done really well and done the job it needed to do. And I'm pretty sure it set up the rocks earlier on as well. I think it was the one that set up the rocks at the start.
I believe so. I'm looking at his team, and I don't remember Pylo ever using Stealth Rock, and I think that's his only other rocker.
Yeah, and the rocks helped him early game because it's slow, because it took quite a bit of health off the Lando. And that Lando was like Carson's main threat other than the Kang, which we agreed needed to set up. So, yeah Bill done what he needed to do.
Zoroark didn't come in this game, did it?
No, Zoroark didn't come, and I'm upset because I really like Zoroark. So, Bill,
yeah,
please...
that's exactly. As soon as I saw it, I was like, man, I really hope I get to talk about Zoroark in the PR, but yeah. I've been let down.
Please use Zoroark in some interesting way because I love Zoroark and I want to see it do fun stuff, and it looks good on your team.
It's very nice. It's especially with stuff like Celesteela and Gengar, which, you know, Gengar and Zoroark have some overlapping moves. They can kind of hide as one another pretty easily. And then you got, especially because Gengar is weak to Psychic.
Yeah,
so that's
and he's got
also
the Komodo
really nice.
weak to Psychic as well.
Yeah, so you've got two good attackers that are weak to Psychic that you can have that come in on. And, I mean, with Flamethrower Focus Blast between those two, you can kind of bluff it a bit. Mm-hmm. And then people, every time Celesteela comes in, people think, oh no, it's a Celesteela, I gotta switch into a thing that can hit it. But then it's a Zoroark.
Yeah.
So he's got some really, really nice options for Zoroark, and I hope to see more of that in the future if I ever watch any of these videos again.
Mm-hmm. Number 5, I've got Birmingham Spreadsheet. You have them at number 6.
Yes.
And this would be both of our... Or no, this would be my top loser.
Your top loser? Is this... Wait a minute.
No, your top loser was Sly.
Oh yeah, my top loser is Sly. That's right. I put Sly in 5th. I put Sly in 5th mainly because I really like his team.
Fair.
To be honest. And his game was like a really narrow 1-0, and he got burnt, and I felt bad, etc., etc. But anyways, yeah, Alex versus Shroom. This is probably
the game
my
of the
favorite match. More for Shroom than Alex. I'm just gonna say that right now. So suck it, Alex. But it was a really good game, and I unfortunately didn't see Alex's side. I only had time to watch Shroom's side, so I don't know a lot about Alex's thought process going through the game, but Shroom was making plays.
Yeah, so what did I write about this one? Where's my notes on it? Did I make notes on this one? I'm very certain I did. Yes, I did.
This was the one after I stopped taking. I love the sound of you flipping through paper, by the way. You actually use paper for your notes. I just open up a Word document.
Oh no, I have a little book.
That is so cute. Please continue.
The 10 Pokemon that were brought to this battle, like Primarina, Ditto, Mesprit, Crobat, Megalopony, Zygarde, Seismitoad, Silvally, Salamence, Clefable, Gallade, or Mega Glade, and Heatran. Those are all very good Pokemon. So I knew it was in for a good competitive battle, and they didn't disappoint. It went both ways at one point. Like, either one of them could have won it until the last 3 turns.
When Shroom, what was it? He got a D-Dance off or something, or he predicted something and got a D-Dance, and then it just came down to the Salamence being scarfed, and it wasn't scarfed. Yeah,
so the downfall of Alex was he had his Mega Glade in on the Zygarde, and rather than hitting the Zygarde with the Ice Punch, he switched out. And at the time, his reasoning for it was that he didn't want to hit the Zygarde with an Ice Punch in case it was the Archie Berry.
Oh, but it was the Dragon Berry! Oh, I remember now.
But it was the Dragon Berry. So he didn't click Ice Punch on the Zygarde because he thought it might have Archie Berry and he would allow it to set up. But then by not hitting it, he allowed it to set up.
Yeah, that was a beautiful bluff on Shroom's part. But it definitely, the play there was to stay in and click Ice Punch.
Yeah,
100%.
There was no reason not to. Because if you clicked Ice Punch and you hit the Ice Punch, then you took off its Archie Berry.
Or, in his case, he would have just killed it because it wasn't Yachi.
Yeah, and then either he has to kill you that turn, and then you go into your Salamence, which was not scarfed.
It was not, because I think Shroom was saying in his video on the last turn, I need the Salamence to not be scarfed. I think it was because he was only at +1 speed, and Salamence naturally outspeeds. So
yeah. So he had more of a chance. He had more of a chance clicking Ice Punch than if he didn't click Ice Punch.
Pretty much.
That was the issue. But again, it did go both ways. Alex did get he got a few pieces of luck in this battle, like Lopunny missing the first Iron Tail. He did have the Babiri Berry on Clefable, so Lopunny did have to land 2 Iron Tails, and if we all know anything about Iron Tail, you're never landing 1, let alone 2.
Yeah, exactly.
He also won a speed tie between his Mega Gallade and the Ditto transformed Mega Gallade. Admittedly, he won 3 of them, but only one of them actually mattered, and that was the one that killed the Ditto.
Yeah,
but
we still won 3 of them, so unfair.
He did get some unfortunate things against him as well. Like, he got 2 special attack drops from Primarina's Moonblast on his Clefable that had a Calm Mind. So, I don't know if that would have...
I think he ever even attacked anyways. He might have attacked if he had not gotten special attack drop.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was thinking.
In the end, I don't think those really mattered.
I don't think they mattered in the long run, but during the actual battle, I think maybe if he did have more... Maybe if he did have that +1 special attack, he might have left Clefable in to hit more things. It might have just made the battle a little bit different and just made him think a little bit differently, more on his feet.
Yeah, maybe it would have made him click Ice Punch against the Zygarde for some reason.
But he did bring the Silvally Grass, which was a good counter for Zygarde. It got worn down really quickly though, because he had to keep on switching into Zygarde.
Yeah, he really should have. I don't know what he should have tried to focus more on getting wishes patched into it, or used it less, or something. I don't know what he could have done differently, but it was really like his only main answer, especially since he didn't have Scarf Ments. This is his only real answer to Zygarde 50%. And I don't even remember... It did have Ice Beam, right? I think it did. Yeah, so it did have a way to hit Zygarde.
Yeah. And I don't think his Toad had Ice Punch, which I thought was odd.
I mean...
Like, it didn't switch in on the Zygarde anyway, but it was just another option to take it on.
Yeah, but I mean, if he had Scald, he can just get lucky like all the good players, so...
Very true, very true.
That's all you really need, is to just get the burns. Why do 4 times effective damage when you can have Zygarde's attack stat?
But it was a close game, and I do like Mega Gallade, and I do like your team, Alex. And you played the Heatran quite well as well, from what I remember. Like, with your Toxic and Protect, you didn't click an attack and move once.
Yeah,
it was certain.
Yeah, it was a very good game. I very much enjoyed it. Game of the week, IMO.
Yeah. What are we on next? Number 4. Number 4, we have the AFC Wormadams, which is coached by Rogue. Rogue, the man who beat Sly.
Yeah.
I like it. I liked it. I like it.
I like it. Yep, there it is. We're done. On to number 3.
He done pretty good. He played the Kyurem very well. Like, every time he brought in the Kyurem, Sly was very worried about Kyurem setting up some form of substitute, which would have ruined his team. He had the Z Ice Beam, which took out the Klefki, which is great. And he managed to use Moltres brilliantly, which is kudos in itself.
Yeah, I can't believe that he so skillfully and immaculately got the Flame Body Burn on the Mega Medicham at just the right time.
Skillfully got the Flame Body Burn and landed Hurricanes. All the skill.
No wonder. I mean, this is why we've thought Moltres is bad all this time, is the right trainer hasn't been using it. Now that someone who can land Hurricanes and get Flame Body Burns is it's suddenly like a threat.
Yeah. He's lower down for me though, because the Mega Scizor did go down. Admittedly, it's not the easiest to predict a fully special, modest Life Orb Hidden Power Fire Bulu. But
oh, you mean that's not the standard?
Believe it or not, it's not.
I've been out of the metagame too long.
And Miltank was his Victini switch in, and I am of the thorough belief that if you have a Victini switch in that also has access to self-recover, you don't need leftovers, you should run Rocky Helmet.
That is fair.
Because it's going to switch in to take V-Creates or U-turns, and if you have got Rocks up, then Victini's going to run out of options very quickly of what it can do.
But what if it was a special team?
If it's a special teeny, then you got issues. If it's a special teeny, you got issues, alright?
At that point, you just accept the fact that even though people know how to deal with Victini now, it's still a threat.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I mean, Rogue done well. He done well to win. He used Moltres well. He brought in his threats, Moltres and Kyurem Black, when they mattered.
Yeah, he recovered really well from being crit by Hydro Pump 3 times. But,
yeah.
It's any time that you can come out on top of a team that has Mega Medicham and Victini and a Kingdra that gets crit, you've done well.
Yeah.
That's like, Slyro's team, just looking at those 3 alone, is pretty scary. But also, Slyro had Mega Mawile once and still, didn't make playoffs, so, I had to bring it up at least once.
On to number 3, we have the FC Poplio, coached by David, aka Magic.
What is with so many people naming their teams after the worst Jitten 7 starter all of a sudden?
I don't know what it is. I think maybe they're just trying to make the Pokemon gods like feel sorry for them that they've already got a crap Pokemon team mascot. Let's try and give them something to go by.
You know what? I agree. But also, it was the Poplio that beat the Primarina this time. So how did that work out?
Very true. This match, Stack Attacker landed 4 Stone Edges. We've already mentioned it, but it's worth mentioning again.
People thought Stakataka would be bad because he has Bastiodon typing, but they didn't realize that he has 100% accurate Stone Edges, which is what people in the Pokemon community, other than Focus Blast not missing, have been asking for decades.
It would have it done at least 70% to everything on Juan's team.
What is Stakataka's base attack? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's something stupidly high, like 165.
You keep talking and I will Google it.
It's something like 165, but Yuxi was
131.
131 is still quite high.
That's very high, especially on a choice band.
Yeah. Yuxi could have been used a bit better, maybe, but it was like you took the hit from the
Hex.
Took the Hex hit from the Jellicent, so it could have been used a bit better, but everything else on the team was used really good. Palossand used good, got up the rocks, took the hits from the Weavile, causing it to take more damage from the Life Orb, so that was a worthy sack-off.
He did really well at the end to set up Stealth Rocks and Spikes to ensure Blaziken would never get to do anything.
Yeah, that was a real good idea, was to go for the late game setup, or the late game, whatever it was.
Spikes.
Yeah.
And I think Stealth Rock were fairly late game as well. But yeah, it ensured that the Blaziken would never even get a chance to mess him up at all, and he got the Weavile in range of Comfey being able to take it out, so it was all very well played out. I think that, if I remember correctly, Juan was trying to, predict when to knock off and when not, because he didn't want the Comfey to come in on knockoff and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Messing him up in the end.
Yeah, that +3 priority on things like Draining Kiss really can mess you up, because the first time I watched that, admittedly, I was thinking, why are you not just going for knockoff? Even if Comfey comes in, you can click Ice Shard. Oh, no, wait, you can't, because Ice Shard's +1 and Draining Kiss is +3 with Comfey.
Yeah, it was especially bad for Juan's team, because looking at it, he's got it's neutral to Blaziken because it's half fire, but his other 2 speedy attackers are both weak to Fairy, so...
Yeah, and it was getting a lot of
Pokemon...
HP back, because it didn't have much HP stat.
Completely forgot that when you say HP, you say hate P, and I love it.
Talonflame came in and done an attack, so that's good.
Yeah, it acrobatics twice and then did nothing else, I think.
Yeah. I'm more impressed with how Glalie was used and how Comfey was used.
Yeah, anytime I see Glalie actually do something, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, Comfey done good.
I think that Talonflame, I don't want to look too deep into the team because I'm too out of the game to understand how viable it was to bring Spadef Talonflame, but I think in this scenario, Talonflame did well in being one of those mons that it made Juan really worried about it and he was focused on it a lot, but then it did so little that alone threw him off. Where you what's his name? Whoever fought the guy with Zardex.
Yeah. I've forgotten. Never mind. They're not important, obviously. Who was it? Hera. Sorry, Hera. Totally forgot. Hera was the one that fought Zardex. I gotta tell Chaos I can't hear him again. Oh god, can't hear you again. Yeah, he used the Comfey well. Brought in the Comfey at the end when it mattered. When the Mushroom guy went down, when the Amoonguss went down. Stack Attacker literally done all the damage, and Glalie was used well as well. So that's a fairly positive outcome there. Fairly positive outcome. While I wait for Chaos to come back, because I don't want to start stepping on toes and start going on to my number 2, I'm going to have a look at Juan's team and see what he would have brought the Spadef... Oh, that's not Juan's team. What he would have brought the Spadef Talonflame for. The only thing I can think he would have brought the Spadef Talonflame for is maybe Togekiss or Jirachi, but I don't know. I feel like that might have been a weird bring, but he could probably elaborate in the comments below. There you are. Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that. My internet hates me in the mornings, apparently.
That's fine. I was vamping for time and trying to figure out why Spadef Talonflame may have come, and I couldn't find any reason, so I just told him to tell me in the comments. But, oh god. this okay? Is my recording okay? My recording's okay. Let's go on to number 2, if Chaos is here. I don't know if Chaos is here or not.
I'm here again. I'm really sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my internet today.
We're going on to number 2. Alright,
good.
I had the Parasect Germain, and you had them at number 1.
Wait, no! Please tell me it's Germain, right?
Pardon? I always say Germain because it's French.
I really hope you're wrong, because if it's Germain, then I have to have a talk with Shroom, because his name needs changing.
I always say Parasect Germain.
More so than Shroom's, my second place needs a name change, because the Pinecobbaba Ramblers is actually... I will say this every single time I talk about Jim. I don't care what the reasoning behind it is. I don't care if he really likes it. I don't care if other people like it. This is the stupidest team name I have ever seen. And I will say that until the day I die.
I just keep on changing it. The whole way through the draft stream, I was just saying things like the Pinterest Ramblers and like... we'll talk about Shroom first, because
that's fair.
We've been going with my ones. Like we said, this was game of the week for both of us, I think. And Shroom done really well to bounce back from the few bits of hacks that he did have. Like the double Lopunny Irontail miss did matter, because he would have taken the Babiri Berry with the first one and then killed the Clefable with the second one, and Alex didn't really have much to switch in on Mega Lopunny after that. And the speed tie on the Mega Gallade may have mattered as well, but I don't think that one mattered as much as that Irontail miss.
That one, the Gallade one, mattered if Alex would have thought enough to use Ice Punch. Otherwise, it didn't matter.
Yeah. But the double Irontail miss, definitely unfortunate on that one. But Shroom had some really good brings on this one. Like the HP fighting on the Mesprit was brought for the Sneasel. The Sneasel admittedly didn't come, but he had it there on the ready. And Dave also made some good reads. Like he was able to use the Energy Ball on the Toad as it switched in to burn up the Rindo Berry, so that Toad literally done nothing in that game.
Yeah, that was very good. Always nice to see a grass prediction on Seismitoad.
And Shroom went into this knowing that Zygarde was the main threat, and whenever he could, he brought it in and just clicked 1,000 arrows. And as a sign, it just wore down the Silvally eventually. Silvally did take a good 2 or 3 of them, but eventually there was nothing left to switch in on 1,000 arrows or anything like that.
There's only so many Zygarde 50% hits you can take before you realize that even the best of walls can't last too long.
And Crobat done a lot of damage to that Heatran. Like, Adamant banned Crobat.
I'm really glad to see that banned Crobat came and did stuff.
Took a lot of damage. Like, Shroom brought Adamant on like a lot of his team because he knew that they just outsped. Like, Alex didn't have anything to catch up to the Lopunny speed or the Crobat speed, so he was able to bring Adamant, so it just shows that the prep work went in there as well. So, kudos to Shroom on winning that one from my perspective. He overcame the hacks and got fortunate with Alex making that misplay in the final turns, but he came out with a win.
Yeah, it was really, even though it was mostly a misplay on Alex's part, I think we can agree on not using Ice Punch. It's still, Shroom realized his only way to win was to psych him out and get him to switch, and that's what he did, and it worked, and it paid off. Yeah. So, that just goes to show, a lot of experience in draft format and knowing when you have to do complex stuff like trying to pull a bluff on something.
Number 1, my number 1, your number 2, the Chicken Parmesan Ramblers.
In the video there, it's not going to get any better than that. We've peaked.
Daddy Waylord, Potato Jim, other Ramblers, whatever you want to call them.
Before we talk about the match, which really isn't that important anyways, Jim's editing is the greatest thing I have ever seen. It actually made me not dislike watching a Pokemon video.
Yeah.
It was so good.
If Shroom and Alex had the battle of the week, Pinecobbie Ramblers had the video of the week, so...
Absolutely. If you guys haven't seen that, like, if for some reason you only watch PR, or, you just watch the Benefica's side of the match, go watch Jim's side of this battle. It's only like 8 minutes, and it is beautiful. If you can, like, look over the horrible sound of the text-to-voice speech. Other than that, it's actually, like, the greatest Pokemon video I've ever seen.
Yeah. So Jim won. And he won, I say, fairly comfortably. Like, Jim's match and Hera's match was good, but I don't feel like Jim was out of control at any point. Like, I feel like Jim was very much in the driver's seat for 99% of that battle.
Yeah, he was pressing the hit 2 times button on like his 3DS's inner console workings to make sure that he only got hit twice.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good battle. He brought an amazing Alolan Persian set. Like, amazing set. It had Icy Wind, to slow down the Garchomp, and then it had Thunderbolt to take advantage of the Tapu Koko electric terrain, which I think would have one hit KO the Greninja.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'm pretty sure Jim lost if 3 Water Shurikens happened, or if Garchomp came in instead, so I don't necessarily agree with it being a comfortable win, but he absolutely did play very well. He knew what he was doing. He scouted out Venusaur having EQ because he wanted to know that. He played well with Charizard, even though he got T-Waved. He knew, like, T-Waved or not, this is still a Mega Charizard X. It can still, like, destroy teams. And so he played with that correctly with setting up and whatnot, I feel like. And the substitute in the Swords Dance with Decidueye, taking out the Arcanine to make it easier for Zard. He did play very, very well. I do think that he benefited a bit at the end from Hera making mistakes, which is kind of what happened with Shroom and Onesie as well. But,
yeah.
You know, in the end, he's the one with the little winner sign and the 2 instead of the 0, so that's what really matters.
Yeah, and I gave Jim quite high up as well, just because Jim had he had some pretty cool. I mean, he went for he got the turn 1 kill on Coco for Croak and all. Didn't even think of over predicting or anything. Literally just went straight in and got the kill early on.
Yeah, that's another sign of someone who's been in draft for a while. And I meant to talk about it with Shroom as well, because he did the same thing with Primarina a lot. He attacked what was in front of him.
Yeah.
Predictions are good and all, but a lot of times early game predictions burn you more than help you. So it's really good to, know when to attack what's in front of you and especially early in the game when you're not like at high risk or anything, that's usually the best time to and just attack what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And people like Shroom and Jim have played in League enough to know that a lot of the times you don't need to try and make these crazy predictions that people are going to go like, oh man, I can't believe he did that. You just need to hit what's in front of you to ensure that you don't screw yourself over early game.
So like the Decidueye bring that he had like enough investment in the Decidueye to where it could take on a Mega Venusaur and just set up in front of it if need be, which it did. I think it set up in front of the Arcanine because it managed to get the sub off first.
No, I think it subbed on the Venusaur, or it subbed on something, and then Arcanine came in, and then he like SD Spirit Shackled it.
Yeah, I like the way he played with the Decidueye. I mean, I'm fairly certain Jim has used Decidueye quite a few times, so I feel like this is a comfort pick for him, and it showed in this, the way he knew when to sub, when to set up, and when to go for Spirit Shackles, because that did take out the Arcanine, which would have been quite a good wall for the Zardex, which enabled the end of the game, and he just played around that well. The only one Pokemon of Jim's I didn't really see shine too much was probably the Nidoking, but again, it got damage off on the Venusaur and made it waste down some synthesis.
I'm pretty sure it set up Stealth Rocks and it scouted the EQ so that he would know it was there, and then it got some damage. It stopped Venusaur from getting healthy again easily. Yeah. So it definitely didn't shine as much as a Nidoking normally would, where it just like kills everything. Mm-hmm. But I think in this game, Jim knew what he wanted to do with Decidueye and Zard and Slowbro, as, getting more of the kills and whatnot. And mainly his main goal was just make it where Zardex can win by taking out Arcanine and weakening stuff and whatnot. And Nidoking helped it to that end. So I think it did what it needed to do.
Yeah. So that's it. I've personally survived another power rankings. Chaos has survived being a substitute power ranking. If you're upset by where you are in the power rankings, then feel free to continue to be mad and sad and alone.
Yeah, suck it up, you nerds.
Yeah, exactly. Get over it. Also, if you disagree with my power rankings, feel free to post in the comments and I'll just laugh as I read them on the way to my job. So...
Liam...
I've told people what my aim is for this season. My aim for power rankings this season is to be told I'm not allowed to do them next season.
Oh, dude, honestly... You're failing, because if you're not, I think the PPL would lose like half of its viewership without you right now, because it's just, you're a gem.
I want to be told, I want them to actively come to me and say, Liam, you're not allowed to do power rankings next season.
Shoddy will do it too.
I hope he does.
He'll at you in the analyst chat and say like, Liam, you're out, and then you're booted, and that's it. Nothing else. No more words.
So yeah, next game, RTK, don't lose. Carson, don't lose, please. If you're below number 7, don't lose. If you're below number 6, if you're above number 6, don't lose. Just no one lose.
Carson could win. He's playing Slyro week 2. It's possible.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna throw in the matchups for next week. So next week we've got Chicago Bewares versus Pittsburgh Pyroars. We've got Birmingham Spritzy versus Adelaide Honchcrows. We've got AFC Wormadam versus FC Poplio. We've got the I'm running out of things to say about this one. The
Fortress Ramblers.
Pins and Needles Ramblers versus the FCs. Oh no, Pins and Needles Ramblers FC versus Deportivo Primarina.
It's gotten Jim's editing has gotten to such a level that no one wants to play him and get styled on, so he has to play himself now. Yeah.
Got the SL Benfica versus the Parasens, and we got the Parasect Germans versus the Portland Timbers.
It's gonna be some good games.
Yeah, I'm
especially looking forward to RTK versus Shroom. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I mean that's like top of the table versus bottom of the table for you.
Yeah, pretty much, the standard.
Interesting.
It basically is for you too, except you've got like Shroom in second because you're not a true friend. So Shroom, whenever you decide to ditch Liam, you and I can move in together and be two best buddies, the Super Tarantini Bros, and then we'll walk to our jobs and laugh at Liam as he's sitting on top in the alleyway.
Oh, that's great. Thank you guys for coming to this video though. Thank you to Chaos for subbing in for Steve. Hopefully Steve will be back next week. We still wish him the best. Make sure you do check out Chaos's channel that you plugged off at the start of the video. And make sure you come back to watch more D2 stuff. I don't care if you watch D1 stuff. Who cares about those nerds? D2 is where the fun happens.
Exactly.
Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you soon. Or I'll see you soon. Chaos might see you again soon as well. Potentially.
All right. Yep, maybe. If, Steve vanishes again. But thanks for having
Okay. Bye, everyone.
me. Goodbye, everyone.
Yay.
Success.